I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Coruscant Hill. And then it's off to Tom Heineber, who's back there hiding. Because you know that it is Force Friday, and I hope and I pray that I will still get to kill some Jedi. What's up, fam? It's Darth Vader. It's Force Friday.
Yo, Z, we got it working. So this is the first inaugural simulcast to the Darth Vader channel and the Z-Dog MD
We got
channel.
people coming in. 400.
Z-Dog MD is a little bitch, okay? He's tiny. Has a very big imagination, but he's a small man. He's shriveled inside and fairly decrepit outside, but he is my master, so I cannot say a bad word about him. The man is a hero. He's a national treasure in Luxembourg. Heineber?
Personally, I hate him, and I think he smells. Today we're going to be doing 25 medical myths that you may have heard of, DV. I don't know if you've heard of some of these. Are you familiar with, let's just start with the first one. MSG in Chinese food will make you sick. Have you heard this myth before?
Let me counteract this myth. Yes, I've heard this. It's always some, bothan who's like, I went to Ho-Ho-Ho's Chinese food and I got a headache afterwards. I'm like, you went to a restaurant called Ho-Ho-Ho's. What were you expecting? To not get a headache? You're lucky you don't have hepatitis A. It's not the MSG, that's correlation, not causation. It's your idiotic decision to eat at a restaurant called Ho-Ho-Ho's when you could have gone to Panda Express or Payway. I mean, who doesn't love that Payway sweet, sticky orange sauce?
It's bomb. I like it. I call it sugar chicken. Here's another one. Coffee stunts your growth. Z-Dog uses this one all the time. He's like, the reason I'm short is because I had some coffee when I was 7. I accidentally messed up and I drank an espresso and I've been short ever since. And I was like, I think you're just born to be short, bro. He's like, nah.
Bro, you don't understand Z-Dog at all. The reason Z-Dog is less than tall is that he was lifting weights in 6th grade, just putting up 3 plates like that. And as a result, his growth plates got a bit compressed. But that's another medical myth we can talk about another time. Coffee does not stunt your growth. MSG does not cause trouble in the vast majority of human beings. It is simply sodium with a little amino acid on it. It will not harm you. What will harm you is Ho-Ho-Ho's. What will stunt your growth is my lightsaber when I cut your pseudoscience spewing crap face in half. That's what will stunt you.
Felicia wants to know, Doc, does it count as saving somebody's life if you simply refrain from killing them?
The absence of... Wait a minute. What's going on with the camera? The absence. Logan, I will kill you with my mind. Understand that. The absence of... What was the question?
Does it count as saving someone's life if you simply refrain from killing them?
Yes. The absence of murder is considered salvation in Sith culture. And this is the thing, okay? It's all a cultural thing. For Sith, not killing someone is the equivalent of hoisting them on shoulders and saving their lives. So it really is all relative.
Here's another common one. Every grandmother's favorite. Bundle up or you're going to catch a cold. What do you think about this one, DV?
Listen, buddy. I sat in an AT-AT on Hoth. It was minus 400 degrees, almost absolute zero. The atmosphere itself was liquefying. Not so much as a sniffle. Look at me. I'm the picture of health. The idea that cold weather will give you a cold is absurd. What actually happens, my Padawans, is that the viruses that cause upper respiratory infections, i.e. colds, which you dimwits are going to ask for antibiotics for because you're dumb AF, those viruses tend to spread in the winter when people are indoors, clustered together, the kids are back in school, and they're behaving like the little petri dish fomite buttheads that they are. That is what gives you a cold, Also, there may be some immune stuff, but not really. So cold does not give you a cold. So go out there naked, show the world what you've got. And if it shrivels up and looks as small as it is, you can blame it on the cold that was shriveling your wiener. That's a Milli Vanilli thing. You wouldn't understand.
You heard it here from a Star Wars character, people. The next one is the chemical tryptophan in turkey makes you sleepy. I've heard this one a lot, DV. And I heard what it really is you're just a fat piece of crap, and you ate like a fat piece of crap, and that's what made you sleepy.
It's called the itis, by the way.
Jabba suffered from the itis because he was constantly eating those little frogs out of the bowl. Frogs, you may not realize this, Heinaba, frogs are 100% tryptophan. Now,
that's not true.
I don't know about you, but Jabba was woke AF. I've not seen an entity as woke as Jabba. On that barge, he dressed up Princess Leia the way, if I weren't her dad, I would have considered that the perfect dress for her. But apparently in the Me Too era, it was a bit, you too.
More things you and Trump have in common.
Emperor Trump and I are very tight. We're extremely tight. I took Sean Spicer actually off his hands. He's now my next admiral. I'm like, Spicy, you failed me for the last time. So, but I still like you, buddy. You're cute. You're rotund. I love you. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, tryptophan. No, it doesn't make you sleepy. It's a freaking amino acid. All right, it's part of your makeup of your body. So it's more that you overeat and you're in a food coma. And it's often the sugary stuff and the heavy fat load and everything that you just... Blah, blah, blah. And that's, Jabba said it best when he said, Mitato wamputi tipo, which means I am fat AF and I'm pooped.
This next one is my favorite expression. Beer before liquor, never sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. And also, my personal expression, beer and beer, just cool.
This one is true. And I have no scientific evidence for this, but it is simply an anecdotal truth. If you drink a bunch of beer before you have liquor, you will never be sicker. And the theory behind this may well be that beer gets you just a little bit drunk. Like, oh, I'm a little drunk. Just drunk enough to not realize that when you start hitting the hard liquor, it's not the same as beer. And drinking a little is not the same as drinking the same amount of beer, tough guy. So you go, it's like the guy with the helmet who pulls the Death Star lever. But yet, instead of a beam of green laser, it's just vomitus, green bile.
You can speak to this next one. It says, when you're drunk on gin, you get mean. You're a bad drunk. I've seen you, DV. Remember that night? You remember that night with all those sand people on Tatooine? What were you doing? You were saucing it. You were hitting the sauce.
I will admit, Bombay Dry Sapphire Gin may have been imbibed before I murdered an entire village of sand people. However, correlation does not imply causation. Maybe it's just that I was already planning to murder them, so I decided to drink gin to numb the guilt in advance. You cannot prove causality this way. It's a retrospective study. You would have to randomize control trial me and randomize me to myself, where I don't drink gin, and see if I still slaughter all the younglings. My feeling? Of course I'll kill them, because I have a murderous rage in me. Has nothing to do with gin.
You were drunk for a lot of the prequels, actually. Here's another one, DV. It says, a juice cleanse will detox you after an unhealthy eating binge. And it has a picture of Gwyneth Paltrow under it, so we know it's true.
I used to think she was very attractive, before the jade vagina incident. And after that, all I can think of is a dilated, jade-filled, You remember the cave in Empire Strikes Back when Luke walked in and he saw me?
Oh, totally. It was really weird and it didn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
That's exactly how Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina is. I don't think I need to say anything else.
You're saying it's dark and scary and doesn't make sense?
All of the above. And when you go in, you might find an evil version of yourself and have to cut off its head.
Hey, while you're in there, should you drink 8 glasses of water a day? Or is that a myth?
In Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina, I wouldn't drink anything there. It's just... You know the blue milk that Uncle Owen used to feed Luke? That piece of crap?
Yeah.
Deadbeat?
Right.
That is a good example of a drink that is probably loaded with fat and sugar and you don't need. Should you drink 6 to 8 glasses of water? All the data says there's no data to say that you should do that. There's plenty of data to say drink when you're thirsty, unless you're very old and your thirst center is jacked up. Otherwise, drinking all that water just flushes out your electrolytes and causes you to have to go to pee like a little bitch every single hour, like these two assholes that run the board. Oh, Z, aren't you supposed to remain hydrated? I'm like, first of all, I'm not Z. I'm Doc Vader. But Z told me what you were doing. And then every 5 minutes, I have to go pee. I'm going to interrupt our work because I need to stay hydrated. Says who? Says no data ever. There's no data to support this, all right? You can actually harm yourself with too much water. So here's my deal. I don't drink at all. And then when I'm dying and my kidneys have shut down, I smear just a tiny little bit of dehydrated water extract under my tongue. And it just, pop, does the trick. Science.
You know what else is science? And this one's true. That if you...
I'm not Z, I'm Doc Vader.
I'm sorry, Doc Vader, of course. Yeah.
Z is a fool. He's short because he drank coffee and lifted way too many weights, bro.
Well, do you think he thinks it's true that it's fine to eat something if it's been on the floor for less than 5 seconds? Because I think it's true.
Listen, in the Sith training, we had something called the 12 parsec rule, which is if it falls on the ground for over 12 parsecs, go ahead and eat it. It has to be at least 12 parsecs that it's been on the ground. Now, the fact that the parsec is a unit of distance, not a unit of time, makes no difference. But the 5-second rule is abject nonsense. However, Heineber, they did study this. And the study showed that the longer it is on the ground, the more colony-forming units of bacteria they could grow on it. So there is a time-dependent transfer of bacteria. However, that begins at time 0. So 5 seconds may be plenty of time to get AIDS.
All right, this is a really widely held one. Cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. My wife is always telling me not to do that, but it feels so good. Feels so good, DV. What do you think?
I've been cracking my knuckles since I was a child. Look at them. Is there anything arthritic about this?
Well, one of your hands is robotic, so you're good on that one.
One or both, who's counting? I will tell you this, though, it doesn't make a difference to my pimp hand, because my pimp hand, if someone talks smack, they get pimped, just like that. There's no truth to this. Cracking your knuckles does nothing but annoy everyone within a 12 parsec radius. Other than that, no arthritis. There may be some evidence, though, that people prone to arthritis may be more keen to crack their knuckles, in which case, again, reverse causality. I'm so evil. It hurts sometimes.
Angela wants to know if your helmet keeps you warm, because it is a medical myth that you lose 90% of your heat through the head. What say you, DB?
I say this. That is a myth. You lose heat through any exposed part of your body. For example, there was a time when I was a lad on Tatooine, when it was 150 degrees in the shade. What I would do is I'd heard a rumor. The testicles have a very permeable, hypervascular skin around them called the scrotum. What if I exposed the scrotum outside of my pantaloons and walk around? Would I be able to emit heat? All that happened was I was arrested and charged with exposure. So the bottom line is, just because your taint gives off tons of heat and your scrot is very permeable doesn't mean your head loses 90% of your body heat. Does that math work out? Quick maths, Tom Heineber.
I think it makes sense to me.
2 + 2 is 4, -1 is 3. Quick maths.
Damn, that's now I see why you're the doctor. Milk does a body good, and it protects your bones. What do you think about this myth?
I think milk has the best marketing campaign in the history of marketing campaigns, am I right? And you and I both watched What the Health. In What the Health, they made a pretty clear claim that milk is racist.
That's true. Milk is racist. Everybody knows that.
Because it's white.
And if you're denying that, you're a racist. And I'm sorry. Like, milk is just straight up racist. We all know that.
Here is one thing, though. Milk has been shown to be very hydrating. So the osmotic makeup of the milk is actually conducive to absorbing water very quickly. So as a hydrating compound, it's pretty good. However, I would just drink water straight out the Tatooine ground. You know what I'm saying? Because milk has calories, it has fat, it has sugar, and some people don't tolerate it well, some people do, so it's up to you. However, there isn't evidence that it strengthens your bones or prevents fractures or any of that, because when you actually study these things, they don't pan out. Surprise! Science is mysterious. The dark side clouds everything. Oh, I'm so lonely.
Speaking of water, dumb people like Tom Brady think that drinking a lot of water prevents sunburns. What do you think?
I'm thinking a good explanation for Tom Brady is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That may explain all the crazy talk. Water does not prevent sunburns. Being appropriately hydrated may allow you to tolerate a burn in the form of UV radiation a little better, but it will not prevent anything. What will prevent a sunburn is staying out of the sun, covering your skin, using sunscreen, or being 90% robot. That is what will prevent a sunburn.
Plus, he's got a really hot wife, and when you're with a hot chick, you got to believe a lot of crazy stuff because they believe a lot of crazy stuff and nobody ever tells them they're wrong.
You know what?
We all know that.
You said it, brother, because Padme was totally hot. And she believed everything that loser Obi-Wan told her about how I turned to the dark side. Sure, it was right. Sure, it was correct. But look what ends up happening. You die in childbirth. Okay? Rule number 1, don't be hot. Rule number 2, everybody should just stop talking. Every single person.
All right, this one's the most classic of all the classics. An apple a day keeps the Darth Lord of the way away. What do you think? What do you think, bro?
Bro, if you come in my office with an apple, I will intubate you. Like, it will actually attract me. The opposite is true. You think an apple's going to keep this doctor away? Oh, hell no. First of all, I'm going to take your damn apple. I'm going to shove it through my grill, which is like a kind of a sieve, and it turns it into julienne slices, and then I inhale them. So no, it doesn't keep me away. It brings me closer to you so I can slap your stupid face. Now, apples are healthy like a fruit, in moderation, but Steve Jobs would have an entirely fruit diet, and look what happened to him. Okay? He was kidnapped by Illuminati and butt probed.
We have no evidence for that claim. I'm sorry for the Jobs estate. This is a common myth. It takes 7 years for gum to digest if you swallow it. I still believe this one, Z. I mean, Dr. V.
If you're a sarlacc, you throw gum in a sarlacc, 1,000 years to digest it, because sarlaccs have the slowest digestive tract of any known mammal in the universe. However, humans swallow gum. They will shart it out. I didn't say poop it out. I said shart it out. Because one day you will just be like, oh, I think I'm going to let out a little gas. And there will be a stain on your panties or pantaloons if you are male, and it will contain gum. And sometimes, if you're really good, you can blow bubbles with your buttocks. Try it out, kids.
Here's a myth started by a good friend of the show, your personal hero, actually, Andrew Wakefield, who said vaccines can be risky.
Next question.
But didn't you learn everything you know from Dr. Wakefield? Doctor.
First of all, he's not a doctor. Second of all, he's not a Wakefield. Okay. His original name was Drumpf, and he changed it to Wakefield because he didn't want to be prejudiced. Number next, the guy's a liar, paid off by lawyers. And number next after that, if I'm dictating this, and I am, is I wish I'd come up with that plan first, because he is a pretty rich fellow and the executive producer of a documentary on himself, which I believe is a conflict of interest. I like the way this man works. He's dark side for life.
All right, let's say I'm looking for another one. How about wait an hour after eating to swim or you'll drown because you'll sink. Everybody knows that.
Oh, I thought it was you'd vomit.
It's just science.
Did you say swim? Are you referring to in any way, shape, or form a beach? Just answer me that.
I mean, some people really enjoy recreating
I'm sorry.
and swimming at the beach.
I'm sorry. This interview's over. You understand my feelings on sand. I'm violently opposed to sand of any form.
Oh, that's right. This was in his writer.
It was in my writer that we don't talk about sand. We don't think about sand. We don't discuss sand. Sand is not the issue. But yeah, you can swim right after eating. It won't bother you at all. As long as there's no sand.
David says Doc V for president. Would you ever run?
I would win. That's the problem. Then I'd have a job I don't need. I'd be like, I'm already Dark Lord of the Sith. Why do I want to be president of some, backwater country in a backwater planet in the spiral arm of a backwater galaxy? I got bigger fish to fry, bitches. I'm on Coruscant every day. Every day. So, maybe? I'm not ruling anything out, people. That's all I'm saying. If you want to write in Doc Vader 2020, I won't argue.
Michelle wants to know how often you're high on kratom.
Kratom, listen, why would I waste my time with kratom, which is actually an opioid, by the way? Everybody's like, I use kratom and it helps my pain. Yes, of course it does. You're addicted to it because it's an opioid. All right?
Got him, DV. Got him, boy.
End of story. Oh, can you talk about kratom? Yeah, I can. It's an opioid and you're addicted to it. Anyways, what were we talking about?
They claim it's better for you because it's a plant, though, and you don't have to get the man involved, with Big Pharma and everything.
Isn't opium a plant?
Yeah, because
opium is a plant, yeah.
golly gee whiz. When Ehrlich Bachman's smoking opium in an opium den in China, that's okay, right? Because it's natural. Come on, people. It's the same people who claim natural everything. I'm sorry, I'm starting to hyperventilate. Let me just, give me a moment. I wish I had my meditation egg here because I could just kind of...
Ew, gross, no. We know what you do in that egg.
Shh.
Padme's ghost.
Be quiet, Heineber. I'm thinking. Okay, I'm done. I'm done thinking. The thinking is over, people. It's time for the violence.
Brian King wants to know, does punching your clown make you go blind?
What? Oh.
I never heard punching your clown, but...
I have heard torturing the midget.
Shaking hands with the devil.
Shaking hands with the devil, choking the chicken.
Yeah. Feeding the one-eyed snake.
Beating the one-eyed snake.
Feeding the one-eyed snake.
What about this, flogging the Jar Jar? Have you heard of that?
No, yeah, that's classic.
Have you heard about strumming the exhaust port? Have you heard about activating the Death Star?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. It's usually partially built because, age.
Trading with the Jawas. Everybody knows that one.
That one made me short a little in my suit with humor. Trading with the Jawas.
Stroking the saber.
Stroking the saber, yes. My saber is blue. What color is yours? Actually, mine is red. Oh, I still got it.
By the way, it should have been jerking the Jar Jar.
Jerking the Jar Jar.
It's more alliterative.
But jerking is so obvious.
Slapping the ham.
What did you say?
Slapping the ham.
Slapping
Says
the
somebody.
ham.
David.
Oh, good work, David. That was lovely. Thank you for adding to the pantheon with that one.
Waxing the dolphin, says Jamie.
Killing the younglings.
Excuse me, Heineber. I'm going to go kill some younglings. We're talking about masturbation, in case you were wondering.
Rubbing the Wookiee.
Rubbing the Wookiee. Ah! Is that what you say when you finish?
Shooting first.
Oh, shooting first. My goodness. Okay, anyways, what's the other myths?
Anyway, that's it. That was all 25.
We went through 25?
No, I read like 18 of them.
Oh, the rest of them are dumb, right?
So dumb. I was like,
Dumb things are dumb, Heineber. Anyways, what should we do? Should we call the code?
I think we call it.
Right.
Before we call it,
Is blue balls unhealthy for men?
yeah,
That's some girl.
tell us that, DB.
Was it a girl, did you
It
say?
was a girl.
So I'm talking to a woman.
Yep.
It is terribly unhealthy for me.
So
it could die instantly.
It could kill you.
Must
yeah.
remedy
It could kill
the
you, for
situation.
sure. It can lead to straight up immediate ball cancer.
Ball cancer.
That's right.
Do you want to go full Armstrong? Never go full Armstrong. Relieve the pressure.
What about spontaneous combustion? What's up with that, Z? Or I mean, Doc Vader.
Well, as a victim of unspontaneous combustion, I have to say it doesn't matter how you go into flames, it's how you're resuscitated. Did they use a Parkland equation to hydrate you? Did they use advanced artificial dermal templates instead of skin grafts because they are more cosmetically appealing, if a bit more complicated? These are the questions you ask, not, did your drummer for Spinal Tap spontaneously explode into a little green globule? That's not a valid question, although I'm sure it happened.
Force choke the chicken, by the way.
Yanking.
Force choke the chicken.
Also yanking the Yoda. That's pretty good.
Shining the helmet.
You know what? I think it's time to wrap up, DV.
No.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. but
Yanking the Yoda.
We may overstay our welcome.
I'm going to go jerk the Jar Jar and yank the Yoda while force choking my chicken tonight in my meditation egg. What do you think, Hannibal?
You know what, people? Today, here, you heard a lot of Star Wars-based masturbation euphemisms, and that's what makes us different from other so-called Facebook Live, simulcast, Star Wars parody medical doctor
No
shows.
one tell Disney.
That's not a moon. That's a masturbation station. And on that note, fair friends, thank you for being a part of this with me. Welcome Z-Pack to the Doc Vader Hour.
Landoing the Carisi.
You know what? I just call it, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Wait a minute, I've got one. I have altered the hand. Pray I do not alter it further. You see what I did there? Okay. All right.
I'm afraid this battle station will be quite operational.
Quick, pass pass me the good housekeeping. I need some material. On that note, oh dear, there it is. We are out.
Jerking the Jar Jar.
God damn it.